staff and horsemen of Churchill Downs proudly present the Kentucky Derby.
It's 132 years of history rolled into two spires, one dirt oval, and the greatest 2 minutes in sports. The fact that these horses only have one chance in a lifetime to run in the Kentucky Derby has helped to make the race great, but it's the things surrounding the race that have helped to make it one of the greatest events in all of sports. Tents in a festive county fair-like atmosphere, along with the spires, were all there for the crowd of nearly 10,000 who saw Aristides win the first Kentucky Derby, held May 17, 1875. It would be a few years later, when Matt Winn took over, that the race would move to the first Saturday in May.
He went back and researched the meteorological records and decided that that first weekend in May was your best shot to have a beautiful day in the spring in Kentucky, and that's why it was scheduled there.
Winn is credited with saving Churchill Downs and the Derby from bankruptcy in 1902. He also came up with some of the race's longest-standing and most beloved traditions.
The singing of My Old Kentucky Home before the Run for the Roses. That's a tradition that was instituted during the years of Matt Winn. The gold trophy that goes to the Derby winner. 1924 was the year that was adopted, and he commissioned the design.
It was luck, along with 3 straight, particularly exciting Derby races that provided much-needed media attention. A horse called Donerail got things rolling in 1913 at big odds.
The longest shot ever to win the Kentucky Derby. He's 91-1. He was ridden by a guy named Roscoe Goose, who was born here in Louisville. But a big upset, and it made national news, this huge upset winning this race in 1913. In 1914, a horse named Old Rosebud came to town, and he was a champion. He was a well-known horse. He'd run in the big media circles in New York, and he came here and he didn't disappoint. He won by 8 lengths and he set a new track record. So again, national news for the Derby. And then in 1915 was the biggest lucky break of all.
Harry Payne Whitney's filly Regret became the first filly, one of only 3 in history, to win the Kentucky Derby. Her victory in Louisville made national headlines.
And Harry Payne Whitney, who was a very wealthy man, very influential man, a great sportsman, he said after that race, he said, "My horse has just won the greatest race in the world."
But even with the greatest horses, the greatest race needed some special touches. Roses and Julips helped in part to win the fans.
There was a socialite, and his name was Barry Wall, and he went to a party, and the founder of Churchill Downs, Colonel Clark, was at this party. Now, Mr. Wall very shrewdly gave every woman, each of the ladies at the party, a rose. And so Colonel Clark decided, well, if I do that for the Derby, can you imagine the buzz that would be created? And ever since the 20s, there's been the official garland of roses for the winner.
Wouldn't be the Derby without a mint julep. Or 2.
In the dining rooms here at Churchill Downs, they had a decorative water glass. So everyone who sat at the table dining that day was just taken by this pretty glass, and they decided that they would keep them as a keepsake.
The track started charging 25 cents for the glasses and soon added bourbon, sugar, and mint to the water, selling them not just to diners, but to the entire crowd.
The tradition of the mint julep and the mint julep glass was born in the 1940s.
Just before he died, Matt Winn once again left one final, lasting Derby legacy.
He signed the first contract for national television coverage of the Kentucky Derby.
That Derby, first televised here in 1949 on Wave TV, helped bring the race in all its color and pageantry to the world.
Winn's designed to have a great horse race and a great social event. That's all part of the fabric.
And it is all Barbaro!
Not just a sporting event.
The celebrities and the hats and the mint juleps, all of those traditions have come together. And for so many people, it's not only a rite of spring, but it's almost a calling home to so many people who have been here over the years.
It's a part of Americana. Kate and Bradar, Wave 3 News.